All right, we are live. Welcome to Ashmont Realty Live. And today, podcast, we're going to talk a little bit about a couple topics. One was, why did everything hold a little bit in December on listings in inventory? Was it the rates? Was it just the time of year? Well, we're going to talk about that. And also, what? You'll never get it. You'll never guess. But what state do you think had the most inbound movers? Meaning, what state had the most people that moved to a state compared to who left? I think you're going to be surprised. I sure was. It is not one you'd think. So we're going to talk about that and much, much more right after this countdown.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
All right, well, thanks for hanging on. Happy New Year's, everybody. So we're going to talk a couple stories on Housing Wire about what's going on in real estate. Why did inventory dip a little bit? Still a little bit better than the years prior, but let's jump into it and see what's going on. So housing, did home sales momentum fizzle in December? So this is at a House Wire by Mike Simonson. So long story short, home prices inventory fell the last couple weeks of December. And why was that? Now, rates went up. Rates went up a little bit, back up to the sevens, which that will slow down things. But also, too, it's that time of year. So was it the weather, what have you? So let's kind of look at what's happened in previous years. Back in 2016, we had an average of about 1.2, let's see, a little over 1 million homes in inventory. And that's nationally, guys. That's U.S. national. But look at where we're going. We are progressing better. I mean, January of 2021, we only had like 450,000 homes for sale. 2 years ago, we had a little over 500,000, but we had over 735,000 homes in October listed for sale, but it dipped. It dipped about 100,000, but that's pretty typical. So, we've done better. We have more nationally inventory than we had over the last 3 years, but we really had to dig ourselves out of a hole. So, but I don't know. A lot of people, I know there was a listing particularly that a client had that they were looking at, and they pulled it off market. It's just that kind of time of year. But, we're hovering over around that 700,000 mark in inventory. It came down a little bit, right there before Christmas, but to be expected. But we're a couple hundred thousand homes more than we were the last 2 or 3 years. So we're kind of moving in the right direction, digging ourselves out a hole. That's what I keep saying. We are the shortest, the tallest little person. I think that's the politically correct way to put it. We're still digging ourselves out of a hole. Let's move on. Let's move on to the next story. I like this one. So Housing Wire, they talking a little bit about, what state, and you'll never guess, what state had the highest percentage of inbound. So this is, you'll never guess this state. I was so surprised. And, big shout out to this state because they get zero love. I was watching a documentary last night about the opioid crisis and how that it's affected this state. But the winner is, believe it or not, West Virginia. West Virginia has had the most people moving into the state than has left the state over the year. Now, this study was done by the United Van Lines. They do an annual study that surveys movers on where they're coming from and where they're going. And this year's top destination was West Virginia. Now, I'm in Ohio, so I'm kind of interested in what's going on in Ohio. So, 65% people were inbound. moving into the West Virginia. So I really wanted to kind of see where Ohio fills into this. So I'm going to pull it up here. I love demographics. So we're going to pull up Ohio. Let's take a look. Take a look what's going on in Ohio and how we fared. We were not top 3. I can tell you that. But we weren't the top least. New York, New Jersey, I think we're rounded off from the top 2. So let's take a look what's going on in Ohio. So for all those at home, Ohio, we had actually we actually had a negative growth in the state of Ohio last year by just a smidge. It was almost a wash. So let's take a look at Ohio. Now, this affects everybody. Now, I'm in Columbus, Ohio. We all know how well that's done over the years. But, why are people leaving? Well, number one reason is for jobs, why they're leaving the state of Ohio. Why are people coming into Ohio? Well, it's for family. Looks like family is number one, big time. Why people are moving back into Ohio. And it looks like jobs is what's taking them out of Ohio. So let's also look. I want to see the demographics here on this. It's kind of interesting. So demographics, age ranges. So the largest sector of people moving outbound of Ohio, which is no surprise, is that 55 to 64 range. Those are going to be your snowbirds for sure. Those are the people who are going to be moving out to Florida, probably, or the Carolinas. Now the largest group of people that are moving inbound is also the same one. So anywhere from like 45 to 65, and that is probably going to be people coming in for jobs. I'm guessing. So net, income wise, inbound 42% is $150,000 or more. And then the people who had the most amount of money are leaving Ohio. So very interesting. Very interesting. So congratulations, West Virginia. You get no love, but you got one. So United Van Lines survey says you have the most people moving into your state. And a lot of that has to do with COVID. They said a lot of people are moving in, which makes sense. If you can live in a very conservative, pretty cost-effective place if you can work anywhere in the United States. So very good, very good. So other than that, guys, Adam Ashba, college instructor. So thanks for tuning in this episode of Ashmont Realty Live. And if you would like to get into real estate, now is a great time. We have a 30% off discount. So 30% off. You can get your real estate license in less than 3 months, and you can get your license and be ready for the summer. Check us out, Ashmont Realty. We love part-time agents. If you want to be a part-time agent, we have ranked the top best training program for flexible adults. Check us out at Ashmont Realtors on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. See you guys tomorrow on Ashmont Realty Live, and I'll see you guys. Have a great night.